This is Monday, January the 19th, 2026. Current time is 7:02 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This one is for Bitcoin. Mapped off a bunch of stuff last night, and like right before futures trading actually started up, it already seemed like it was doing a significant pullback before trading actually began for the end user, I guess. And pretty much last night, whenever markets did open up, all my potential for lower level entries already hit. Pretty much as soon as market opened up last night. Bitcoin was no exception. It hit right away. And I was expecting it to potentially bounce in that area, but it did not. It just kept on shooting down. I looked up for catalysts, and the only thing I could see was about Trump and the Greenland deal and all that stuff, and I think Europe, some tariff talk on all of that. But anyway, like that's what I was expecting to be somewhat of a bounce point yesterday was right here. And as you see, most of them went way below a statistical level that I thought could be support, or a level to look for to potentially be some support. My setup in particular, whenever the market actually opened up last night, if you was watching a 5-minute chart, and it shows up as being a sell, it never does turn to buy until at 2140 potential buy. That trend, that downward trend, can potentially be over with. And sure enough, whenever that green candle showed up, that's when more buy action started. And after that, so that's why I haven't set it the way I do, is because you can see when trend actually can shift. Is that perfect? No, it's not. Nothing ever is. But that's also another statistical level I had from previous Friday mapped off that could be support as well. And I think the previous Thursday or so too, different levels, that would have been supportive by many algorithms. And right now you're trading about the same exact level as it was late last night. So kind of is what it is on that. Want to show though for potentials for tomorrow for Bitcoin is this blue level here, 95,234. This is a statistical mean twice over from other days, and that's at 9,100 or 91,000 rather, basically. For crude actually is one. It's been kind of iffy on crude here lately, but today it actually held up very well to whatever I thought it could actually do. What I had mapped off for last night, what the gravitation point was 59.56. That made perfect resistance whenever it tagged that statistical mean. Before that, you had all buy volume pretty much. Then in terms of sell volume here at 2340. Whenever you get that type of confirmation, it stays into the downward trend. This is what I look for, try to gauge everything off of. And you're not going to be perfect all the time at all this. I guess if you had a whole bunch of charts up, and you could watch different indices at different times, and then potentially short or long. But the 50% level to me is usually not a level to buy into or sell into, unless if it made a substantial drop and then it made a substantial gain in a relatively quick period of time. And this meets that criteria on the 5-minute chart for sure. That new statistical mean level could have been some resistance, and sure enough, you had confirmation. That confirmation from there, I'd have to do the math on it. It is kind of punishment enough just to look up what you could have made or whatever. For light sweet crude oil shorting from the statistical mean, or shortly thereafter, whenever you actually had confirmation, to previous low, which on so many different algorithms like a spike down like this and drop back to it, you need to close your short position out and either go long or just sit on your hands, whatever. But anyway, like shortly thereafter, you get a spike here. I'm sure there was buy volume that came in with that green candle, broke above the previous low. So all that's different confirmations. It's a long. So anyway, from here to here, roughly is $870 from here to here. If you held for all that, is another $870 per contract. And tomorrow, what I have for the statistical mean is 59.09, and what can make some resistance for algorithms at 59.79, and what can be some support for many algorithms is going to be 58.39, which is close to what today was. So that's all within reason as well. The caveat to all that I say is that some good news catalyst could come out or whatever, and what it can be is that especially if it's tight what I had mapped off. If it's tight what I had mapped off close to the current price, and what will happen if it's a really good news catalyst or if it's really strong indice is that it'll break above that, and typically it'll come back down to it. It may happen within minutes of breaking above this. It may be halfway throughout the day, then it'll come down to it and make perfect support and then bounce off of it. And that may not happen at all either. That's always a possibility. But I've seen that a bunch of times where, especially if it's already close to a level, then it may break through. And if it is truly wanting to be bullish, then this will hold support. For the S&P 500, I have much tighter for tomorrow, which I guess I've seen it before where I map something off and it's extremely tight and it's way damn wrong. So that's possible too. 68.74 pretty much to 69.43. That's definitely within reason. And I don't know what else going to happen tomorrow where different actual individual companies are going to start trading too. What they may or may not trade at, or how bad it may or may not be. For the NASDAQ is really tight too for tomorrow, 25,191 to 25,511. That's extremely tight. That's showing me possible consolidation. You're also trading below where you're supposed to be on a statistical level. The bottom average daily range is here. Yes, you had a decent drop today. And Palladium, I really like. Friday had an alert that went off on Palladium, and I didn't have enough money in my account to trade that anyway. But suffice it to say, what happened Friday is my alert went off right here on Palladium in the morning, and what I thought could happen shortly thereafter, once you get confirmation, is that it has a better chance of going up. The statistical mean was up here at 1882, and I was expecting it to at least try to make it up to that, and you can see how they took profit a little bit ahead of time, but eventually today it actually rose up to 1882, slightly there above, and actually went up to what I'm at off towards the end of the day at 1899.60, so it's really close to that level also. Again, all these levels, 1811 to 1899, is within 100% within reason for tomorrow. And the Russell, my alert went off on it last night also as soon as market opened. Previous Friday level was here. I can't remember if I had an alert went off there, but I mean it is a previous Friday level. What I could have thought here is to take a long here, and it would have been probably dicey here. I would have had to try to take profit somewhere in here if I was trying to hold it, and I would not have held through all this for sure. But certain algorithms, like their profit and stop losses, are set where statistically they have a much higher probability of being accurate. But that's if I could have watched just Russell today, then buying in here would have been wise too, and then gotten up to that far. But the Russell today would have been a decent one. It didn't make a massive bounce, but it's still on a statistical basis. In my setup and how I view the stock market, it held up well. Like, I'm sure on a 1 minute time frame it's probably obvious. Like it may go against you here, and all this probably was all bullish or whatever. I'm not going to actually view that, but that's more likely what had happened. For the Russell for tomorrow, again, all this is within reason. 2640, the bottom average daily range is down here, so you're getting really close to, if it does come down to 2640.80 or somewhere in that vicinity, 2638, that's a much higher statistical probability of going up. But again, you need confirmation. Silver today. Silver, what I had mapped off for last night, traveled up to very quickly at open last night. Kept around, hovered around that level also. Usually that's more of a bullish sign than a bearish sign, especially when it has that much price action in the day, if hovering around the same exact level. I don't know why exactly it does that. It's just that there's no sellers up there. There's no sellers. It's still in that squeeze state, or whatever is going on with silver right now, or like where everybody and the mother is talking about silver. What I had mapped off for potentials for tomorrow is 100% within reason too. What I had mapped off for tomorrow potentials is 95.263 and 91.501. That's 100% within reason. Silver, precious metals right now are like going gangbusters though. The Dow today, my alert went off last night as soon as the market opened for the Dow. And then Friday's level, actually it bounced off of the bottom average daily range initially. My setup never did show its potential buy. Maybe right here it did briefly. And that would have probably been a pump fake, like, thinking potential for upward movement. The first one would have been probably here. For previous Friday's level, it tagged it perfectly there and came up. And that's before I woke up this morning. I think I was up at 3:30 or so. So I was up just a little bit after to catch any of that. But like that was a Dow today. That didn't give you many opportunities. And the soy futures never did open up. And it's moved a little bit. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's all that. The Nikkei is dropping sort of substantially below the bottom average daily range right now than what it should be. That's a new low of the past 5 days right now. So it's not looking all that healthy. From the previous Sunday's level that I had mapped off, the statistical mean is down there at 52,879. And that's the next level that I see that's worth taking a look at all. And what the hell do I know though? That's potential. It's over the past 5 days. It's potential anyway. All right, goodbye.